The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Fraudsters on the voter register. The FNM leader, Michael Pintar, making that claim in Parliament. The FNM completes its ratifications. And the PLP says a new poll puts the party in the lead ahead of the next general election. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, March 19th, 2026. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be here, filling in for Laverne Gardner. Also this morning in business, we are talking with SBDC, our monthly series with them. That's all ahead on this Thursday, but first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, FNM leader Michael Pintar claiming in Parliament that the names of 8 people found with fraudulent Bahamian identification documents were also on the voter register. Prime Minister Philip Davis responding later in the House saying, quote, "I'm seeing issues too." But he added that there are guardrails in the law to address any such concerns, and he's urging Pintar to forward any evidence and reports to the parliamentary commissioner, as the Prime Minister claims he has done as well. Meanwhile, the FNM ratifying its final 2 candidates, one being the leader, Michael Pintar, and the other being James Leo Ferguson, the son of the late former FNM chairman and Senator John Lee Ferguson, who retired from the Royal Bahamas Police Force on Wednesday after 30 years of service. He formally transitioned into frontline politics, accepting the nomination for the FNM from MyCal, where he has deep familial roots. The Progressive Liberal Party is saying that a new poll it commissioned found that 38% of voters surveyed said that if the general election were held today, they would vote for the Davis administration, while only 18% said they would support the Free National Movement. In a statement last night, the FNM called the survey a, quote, fake poll, adding that, quote, fishermen never say their fish stink. Minister of Housing and Urban Renewal Keith Bell calling on the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to review a recent case in which a Grand Bahama man was fined instead of imprisoned over a firearm offense. 28-year-old Lloyd Roll was fined $12,000 in relation to the incident, which took place in March 2023 when he was found with an unlicensed firearm and ammunition in a crowded nightclub. As part of his defense, he claimed that he was framed by police officers, but the court ultimately determined that that was not the case. Bell saying in the House of Assembly yesterday, quote, when a loaded firearm is involved in a public place and when serious allegations against police officers have been disproven, the country is entitled to ask whether the outcome properly reflects the seriousness of the offense and the message we sent out about illegal firearms. Bell again is calling on the Director of Public Prosecutions to review the matter and consider whether further steps are appropriate in the public's interest. After spending 1 year and 9 months in prison for an armed robbery he did not commit, a man is seeking $3 million in damages. Shervin Munnings is suing for false imprisonment, malicious prosecution, and a breach of his constitutional rights after he was exonerated on appeal. On February 13, 2018, a group of men burglarized a home in Star Estates and robbed the occupants. The victims told the police that they believed that a man known as Max, who worked at Lyford Key, was responsible. In a lawsuit filed on Munnings' behalf by Terrell Butler, it appears officers acted in malice when they arrested him and there was no reasonable suspicion. The action said that Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson deprived Munnings of his constitutional right to a fair trial by permitting evidence that he was on bail to be led. The case hinged on data from Munnings' ankle bracelet that placed him in the vicinity of the crime. And Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, says that the Ministry of Finance is working diligently to correct pay issues to national health insurance providers. Last week, association leaders calling on or raising concerns on the delayed payments and other concerns regarding NHI. However, the doctor saying that it was advised that it would have to join or form a union to publicly voice concerns as a group. Although Darville did not respond to the advisory, he said yesterday that some outstanding payments were made. The payments are 2 months behind for NHI physicians and 3 months behind for lab workers. Overseas, Iran intensifying its attacks on its Gulf Arab neighbors and their energy sites today, hitting a Saudi refinery on the Red Sea and setting Qatari liquefied natural gas facilities and 2 Kuwaiti oil refineries ablaze as it struck back following an Israeli attack on its main natural gas field. This is a major escalation in the Middle East war that has sent global fuel prices soaring. Brent crude oil, the international standard, spiked to as high as $118 a barrel, up more than 60% since Israel and the United States started the war on February 28th with strikes on Iran. A ship was set ablaze off the coast of the United Arab Emirates, and another was damaged off Qatar, underscoring the ever-present danger also facing vessels due to Iran's stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz, the strategic waterway through which a fifth of the world's oil is transported. Saudi Arabia had begun pumping large volumes of oil west to avoid the strait and ship it from the Red Sea, but the security of that route was called into question after Iran's drone hit the country's Samref refinery in the Red Sea port of Yanbu. Qatar, a source of natural gas for world markets, said firefighters put out a blaze at a major LNG facility after it was hit by Iranian missiles. Production had already been halted there after earlier attacks, but it said the latest wave of missiles caused sizable fires and extensive further damage. Damage to the facility could delay Qatar in getting its supplies to the market even after the Iran war ends. And Congolese and Rwandan officials meeting in the United States and agreeing on coordinated steps to de-escalate tensions in eastern Congo, where government troops are fighting rebels backed by neighboring Rwanda. In the joint statement issued by the Congolese, Rwandan, and U.S. governments, it said that Congolese and Rwandan officials met on Tuesday and Wednesday to advance progress in eastern Congo as peace efforts led by the U.S. and partners, including Qatar, have stalled and violence continued. The mineral-rich eastern Congo has been battered by decades of unrest as government forces fight more than 100 armed groups, the most potent, the M23 rebel group backed by Rwanda. The M23 made an unprecedented advance into the region earlier last year, seizing key cities as they quickly expanded their presence. U.S. President Donald Trump has emerged as a key peace facilitator as he tried to rally both countries to commit to a permanent ceasefire, while at the same time paving way for American companies to gain access to Congo's minerals, which are critical for much of the world's technology, from jets to mobile phones. Both Congo and Rwanda in this week's meeting committed to efforts that revolve around that agreement that Trump facilitated between the two presidents last year.
This is Sports Update.
In sports, Bahamian Paul Green Jr. ending his collegiate basketball career, suiting up for the University of Maryland Baltimore County Retrievers in the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament First Four at UD Arena in Dayton, Ohio. Green and the Retrievers fell to Howard University in the Bison 86-83, ending their tournament journey and their season in the preliminary stages of March Madness Tuesday. The Retrievers were making just their third appearance in the NCAA tournament in program history, now have a 1-3 record. Green, a senior forward, didn't get any significant playing time this season. The grad student played just 1 minute off the bench on Tuesday and didn't score while collecting 1 rebound and 1 foul. Well, with March Madness, the First Four playing last night, and Miami, Ohio beat SMU 89-79. Miami went 31-0 during a captivating regular season, the only Division I team to go unbeaten in 25-26, and just the nation's U.S.'s 8th undefeated regular season in the last 50 years. Miami will play Tennessee on Friday in Philadelphia. And the other two teams, Prairie View A&M defeating Lehigh 67-55. A landmark new WNBA collective bargaining agreement reached in principle early Wednesday morning that will give the league its first $1 million players. There's still a lot of work to be done between now and the start of the regular season on May 8th. Lawyers on both sides are finalizing the term sheet for players in the league's Board of Governors to approve, which should be done in the next couple of days, the union will have informational sessions with its players to walk them through key terms, answer questions, and make sure they understand what the deal means for them. It will then get put to a vote with a majority needed to ratify the collective bargaining agreement. The league's board of governors will then need to approve the deal before it becomes official, with time rapidly speeding by before the start of the season. And from the NBA, Luka Doncic had 40 points, and LeBron James added 30 as the Los Angeles Lakers extended their winning streak to 7 games with a 124-116 win over the Houston Rockets Wednesday night. It's the 10th win in 11 games for the Lakers, who also beat Houston 100-92 on Monday night. The Lakers led by 4 with about 90 seconds remaining when Doncic found James for an alley-oop dunk. Kevin Durant had a turnover on the other end, and Doncic made a three-pointer to push the lead to 120-111 with less than a minute left. Doncic had 10 assists and 9 rebounds to finish 1 rebound shy of a triple-double. James was 13 of 14 from the floor, tying the best single-game shooting effort of his career, and had 5 rebounds to give him 12,002, making him the 23rd player in NBA history to reach 12,000 rebounds. James also shot 13 of 14 from Miami against Charlotte on February 4th, 2013. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. There's still a near gale watch in effect for the northern Bahamas now. Near gale winds are possible across the northern islands today as we continue to deal with widespread showers, rain, and isolated thunderstorms. It's going to continue now for the southern half of the country, courtesy of that quasi-stationary front just south of New Providence, along with their prefrontal trough across the southeastern islands. An eastward-moving upper-level trough will nudge the frontal boundary further southward, allowing for improving weather conditions over the northern half of the country. So there's still a moderate risk of severe thunderstorm activity, now mainly for the central and southeast Bahamas, and that will continue through Friday. And there remains a moderate risk of localized flooding during heavy or prolonged rainfall over the central and southeast Bahamas, and residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should exercise caution. There's also a moderate to high risk of rip currents for Atlantic waters and sheltered waters of the northern and northwest Bahamas. Swimmers in these areas are advised not to get into the water. And there's also a slight to moderate risk of rip currents elsewhere throughout the archipelago. So for today, partly cloudy conditions for the northern half of the country. Only about a 20% chance of showers for the extreme northern islands, but we've got a 20 to 40% chance of showers during the early morning hours for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, and that should drop off a bit to about 20 to 30% chance by midday. Winds north to northeast at 20 to 25 knots with gust to near gale force for the extreme northern islands, including Grand Bahama, and north to northeast at 15 to 25 knots for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. As we say, that front is moving towards the central and southeast Bahamas today, so look for cloudy to overcast conditions there with a 40 to 60% chance of showers with isolated thunderstorms. For the central islands, winds southwest to west at 10 knots or less ahead of the front, but north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots behind the front. And for the southeastern islands, northerly at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. High temperatures today, we're looking at highs around 79, 80 for the northern half of the country, with overnight lows tonight in the mid to upper 60s. For the central and southeast Bahamas, with the rain, you're looking at highs in the mid 70s and lows in the low to mid 70s tonight. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple. You are listening to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. It's time for a break. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, Air, the Athlete's Foot, and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clocks and Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
The following is a paid political message brought to you by the Free National Movement.
Bahamas, get ready. The momentum is building and the movement is rising. The Free National Movement official campaign launch. Join the excitement Saturday, March 21st at 7:30 p.m. at Bahama. Watch the event live on Facebook and YouTube at our FNM 242. Be part of the movement. The FNM official campaign launch. Saturday, March 21st at 7:30 p.m. See you at Bahama.
That was a paid political message brought to you by the Free National
Looking
Movement.
to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Cades Village, or call 396-1100.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
It's back. Agri-Expo 2026, presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, April 10th through 12th at the Gladstone Road Agriculture Center. Agriculture, our heritage, our future, comes alive with the latest farming technologies, exciting cooking demonstrations and competitions, Bahamian farmers and vendors from across the islands, fun for the kids at the Kitty Corner, nightly musical concerts, and free admission for everyone. Bring the whole family and celebrate what feeds our nation. Agri-Expo 2026. Let's get growing.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the start.
Marco's Pizza has the perfect everyday deal. Pick up a large one-topping pizza for only $10 every single day. This has to be the best pizza deal in town. No gimmicks, just great pizza at a great price every day. Fresh, fast, and full of flavor. That's the magic of Marco's. Only at Marco's participating locations.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Laverne Gardner's off today. She's going to be with us tomorrow, but joining us today, Chester Robards. Good morning, Chester Robards.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us again.
Glad to be here.
You sound very excited. Thank you, sir. All right. A lot to talk about this morning, a lot going on in the news, but also this morning in business. It's our monthly segment with SBDC. They're going to be here. And I've got a lot of exciting things to talk with them about. You don't want to miss that coming up in our business hour. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. And in the news, quite a lot of political news. Fraudsters on the voter register. That's the F&M making that claim. We're going to get into that. And the F&M ratifying the final two candidates before the general election. And an interesting new poll commissioned by the PLP that, not surprisingly, says that the PLP would win the general election if the general election were held today. So we'll get into all of that really quickly, though. This article here has caught my eye. I just want to read a bit of this, just a little bit. No, we don't want to spend too much time on it, but this is quite interesting. You know, with a headline like this, Chester, you got to read the story. The headline is, this is in the Tribune today, cocaine and caffeine found in reef sharks off Eleuthera. Study finds. That's right. Cocaine and caffeine. So sharks off Eleuthera have been found with cocaine, caffeine, and common painkillers in their blood, according to a study that highlights the growing reach of human pollution in Bahamian waters.
Any specific area that they found those sharks?
Let's see. The peer-reviewed research published in Environmental Pollution, that's the name of the publication, okay, found contaminants of emerging concern in multiple shark species sampled from nearshore waters around the island. The study marks the first reported detection of caffeine and acetaminophen in sharks anywhere in the world. And the first report of, I don't know what this is diclofenac? Okay, and cocaine in sharks in the Bahamas. Researchers analyzed blood samples from 85 sharks, including tiger sharks, black-tip sharks, Caribbean reef sharks, Atlantic nurse sharks, and lemon sharks. The samples were screened for a range of substances, including pharmaceuticals, stimulants, and illicit drugs. 4 contaminants were detected: caffeine, cocaine, acetaminophen, which is Tylenol or Panadol, And this again, the diclofenac. Chess, do you want to look that up while I read some more? I don't know what. Anyway,
Diclofenac.
Yeah, diclofenac. They were found in 28 sharks across 3 species: the Caribbean reef sharks, Atlantic nurse sharks, and lemon sharks. Caffeine was the most commonly detected compound. It was present in 12 Caribbean reef sharks, all 5 contaminated Atlantic nurse sharks, and 10 lemon sharks. Cocaine was detected in 1 Caribbean reef shark and 1 lemon shark. Acetaminophen appeared in 3 sharks, while diclofenac was detected across all 3 affected species.
Any of those ships that sunk around here carrying drugs? Prescription drugs or pharmaceuticals? Diclofenac is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug that reduces pain, swelling, and stiffness from arthritis, gout, and menstrual cramps.
Oh, dear. Okay. Well, interesting. So the findings are significant because sharks are apex or near apex predators and play a critical role in maintaining marine ecosystems. In the Bahamas, they also underpin a major tourism industry built around shark diving and marine conservation. The study focused on South and Central Eleuthera, where sharks were sampled from several coastal sites. Contaminants were detected at Aquaculture Cage, Boathouse Cut, Kemps Creek, Halleck Beach, and Page Creek. No contaminants were detected in sharks sampled at Schooners or Schooners Deep. Is it Schooners? Yeah. Broad Creek or Savannah Sound. Wow. All right, that is a pretty interesting story there.
But the sharks eat fish, so are the fish contaminated?
Now that's a great question, right? Is that what's
and
going on?
And are we eating them too?
Yeah.
We got diclofenac?
And cocaine.
And cocaine?
Yeah. Right? So what is going on? Are they just eating other things in the water as well? Or just getting into them?
Or are they just, it like, are they coming through their gills? Are they being filtered? Right.
So that's a fascinating story. We'll dive deeper into that when we have some time. But wow, cocaine and caffeine. Okay, well, to the NASA Guardian, the big headline, fraudsters on the voter register. Pintard making the claim in Parliament. And fraudster is an interesting word. Our Rachel Scott writing about this. So F&M leader Michael Pintard claimed in Parliament on Wednesday that the names of 8 people found with fraudulent Bahamian identification documents were also on the voter register. Prime Minister Philip Davis, responding later in the House, said, quote, "I'm seeing issues too." But he added that there are guardrails in the law to address any such concerns. And he's urging Pintard to forward any evidence and reports to the parliamentary commissioner, as he does. And the Prime Minister says he has done. So there's a quote here from the Prime Minister. He says that it seems to me that all of this is just hysteria and theatrics. Desperation, and he's trying to build a case for when this bell rings and when the results come, and he will say, see, I was telling you all about these things. Pintard called for immediate action on the issue, saying, quote, "We ought to fix this issue of official documents ending up in the wrong hands, whether it's a passport, whether it's NIB, whether it's a voter's card." Just recently, the Prime Minister indicated that this was an isolated event that he was referring to when the concern was raised about somebody having fraudulent document possession. And Pintard says, well, the Prime Minister clearly knows better. Pintard produced a list of 74 people he claimed were being investigated for possessing fraudulent passports. He said 8 of the names are on the register, and they have them broken down by constituency. He says they have the passport number, the voter's ID, first and last name, and then whether they were registered or not registered, saying, quote, "It is not an isolated case, as stated by the Prime Minister. It's not isolated." Wow. Okay. In response to Pintard yesterday, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe also said that he's responsible for elections. Also said that he should have reported the concerns to the Parliamentary Commissioner so that those exercises could be conducted as required. Monroe saying, quote, for somebody who says they want to lead this country, oh boy, he ought to know what he should do if he has reasonable cause to believe that somebody should be removed from the register. And it isn't waving pieces of paper in the House of Assembly. Wow. And then he said, this is Monroe, quote, just as Pine Ridge MP did when she suspected that people registered in houses that were abandoned. She took the names, she took their locations, the parliamentary commissioner investigated and removed them. Any Bahamian could look at the passport and see with the security features why it's so easy to recognize somebody who tries to replicate it, because it's nearly impossible. The fact that the forgeries are caught easily is a sign that the system works. That is different from being issued a genuine document, but he is at fault if he says he knows of people who should not be on the voters' register and he's not advised the parliamentary commissioner. Monroe later told Parliament that the lists Pintard tabled had no attribution indicating where they originated or who created them. Saying, quote, I can say that bearing in mind what he has said, I have sent these on to the Royal Bahamas Police Force and they will investigate what he is saying and as they are able to do. Something as important as voting, something as important as national documents, passports, ought not to be frivolously and lightly questioned in the manner that this was. Well, in a statement yesterday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also advised the public to exercise caution before accepting the documents that Pintard tabled, accusing Pintard of a history of relying on, quote, improperly obtained documents and presenting them in a manner that is, quote, incomplete and irresponsible. And the ministry saying, quote, the public should be assured that Bahamian passports are, in the main, issued properly, lawfully, and with due care. It also suggested that under the Minutes administration, there was a loosening of standards as it relates to the review of supporting documents, which it said, quote, may help explain why these investigations became necessary. Oh, my goodness. Okay. The ministry also said, quote, a responsible government must proceed with care before making allegations against private citizens while investigations remain ongoing. It is the diligence of the present officials in the passport office that has led to the stricter standards now being applied. The ministry reiterates that the government remains fully committed to protecting the integrity of the Bahamian passport and ensuring that any instances of fraud are identified, investigated, and addressed in accordance with the law. Okay. Quite interesting. Let's get your reaction to that, folks. Fraudulent documents, eight on the register. But they are being found. It's not easy to slip through, it seems. So what do you take what the Prime Minister is saying, that this is hysteria? They're trying to make a case for if they lose the election, they'll say, well, see, we told you that there was all kinds of mischief going on. Or do we have something to really, really be concerned about? Let's get your reaction to it. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or call us toll-free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester. Good morning to the wife of Bahamas, Alan Johnson.
Good morning.
What concerns me is the hysteria that happened from the government and what continues to happen. The Prime Minister says, I got some of the same problems with voters' roll and etc. Right? He said, in fact, James Moxie in Freeport has the same problems with finding abandoned houses and other irregularities. And then they go on to say that, we need to see those documents. They first was in the House of Assembly declaring that the documents weren't real. Then when the documents was tabled, they says, you don't have a list of, you don't have the names of the people on this document who may have anonymously given this to you. Then you have on across social media the entire team of BISEX, even the person, I won't call his name, but that leads the BISEX department for the government is explaining that the same list is the government had already had this exact same list that's being investigated, and that the F&M should be investigated as to how they got the list. Now, on the security features of the passport, right? I've went through this before. The Bahamas passport is one of the most secure passports in the world. So the argument by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the national security that you can detect the passport, the problem is not the passport. The problem is the issuance of the passport to individuals who should not have them. So when a passport is improperly issued, it has all the security features. And the typical Bahamian, unless they have a passport reader like what you experience in the airport and other different things, it will know no better. But we have had instances of people talking all around town about individuals having passports that has no knowledge of the Bahamas, its language, or anything of those things.
Yeah, but can you say for sure whether they were issued by the passport office?
No, they were. See, let me tell you something. If they were not, we got a bigger problem than we think, because you now have someone who has the ability to randomly issue a passport of probably one of the top 5 or top 10 most secured passport in the world.
Well, it looks like it. That's why it's being detected. It looks like it, but it's being detected because it isn't, and it's easy to find out. Easy for officials to find out.
No. What is happening is, see, I'm saying to you, right? I challenge you, newspaper people, to go let the police and other people show you the passports and show you the real and the fake one. What we have is a data problem. Where you could get birth certificates and other information, go to the passport office. And so this authentication, remember now, the ambassador, head of the passport office, said that they were investigating hundreds on a show, on another radio television station. So they were investigating hundreds of these, and they're sorting through them. Do you know what hundreds mean? He said hundreds per year, right? See, the problem is that we have a failed data problem. And so what happens is there should be a multi-tier data check, cross-reference across across government silos. The problem is that we have a combination of incompetence and corruption that is happening in. And so it's amazing that hundreds of passports could be issued out of the passport office, and no one in the passport office or the police department or national security or foreign affairs seems to know who issues these passports. There has to be some commonality, or if you imagine hundreds, you think we have hundreds of people inside of the passport office? Is every single one person issuing one mistake each, or is maybe one person or a group of people issuing more of these? See, this is not rocket science when you use technology, you know.
Okay.
This can be fixed. But what you have now is a very, very concerning thing concerning not just our voting, but our integrity in the international community, our traveling, and other things. And what's the most important thing is the sovereignty of the Bahamas could be threatened by the very fact that people can exercise rights as citizens that they should not have. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. Well, the numbers are still relatively low compared to the number of passports they issue. It's quite possible. We know this. There have been people charged. It's corruption. But we cannot say that all of these are issued from the passport office. Right? It would be good to know, but we don't know that. Yes, obviously some of it is coming through there. Obviously. But as the officials say, Chester, do you buy that? That the fact that they're detecting these things shows that the system has the fail-safes. No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You sound very convinced. This text, before we get back to the calls, the text says, even the sharks are finding it hard to cope in today's Bahamas. Yikes. Something is going on with our passports. That's a text. The Prime Minister and Wayne Monroe seem like they're more annoyed with Pintard bringing the fake passports issue up in Parliament and exposing it rather than trying to solve this vexing matter. The Prime Minister and Monroe need to, get the heck I'm editing out of our Parliament, #ring the bell. Okay. Wow. Good morning. How many times Pintard and the FNM sound the alarm on fake passports and documents? After 4.5 years in office, the government's still blaming the administration for this sad state of affairs? Okay, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, and I appreciate the fact that my DNA is going to be changed now because I'm eating contaminated fish. Jesus, Lord.
Well, DNA? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean,
sure. Well, I don't know about that part. But
I notice I see people are changing right before my eyes with me, so maybe I'm not changing that.
Well.
But Dwight, on a more serious note, this thing about fraudulent and real passport that's been issued to persons fraudulently, so I guess there's still a fraudulent move in there. How come I haven't heard about persons being, like government officials, being, hauled before the courts for issuing a passport to someone who should not be able to get the passport? Like,
it's happened before, but I mean, it's not a common thing. It's not a common thing.
So maybe it's not a thing to really worry about then, because my thing is, if I'm giving you a passport under the condition that you are going to bow down and worship me, you see this passport as a document to your future, then that means if I'm a PLP or at FNM, I'm going to be siding with that party, wouldn't I? And you know that I'm giving you this passport as a member of a particular party. Aren't you going to continue to vote for me all your life?
It might. It might not. I mean, once you have what you wanted, you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
I guess it depends. It depends.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if things work like that.
I like your reasoning, but that's not the way things work.
That's not the way. No, people tell you all manner of things, and do the complete opposite as soon as they can.
But Dwight, I want you to do an experiment, though, on a more serious note too. You gut a fish in the middle of the ocean, and you eat some chicken in the middle of the ocean. You'll notice that the flies will come from nowhere, and they come in at that fish. But we think fish is so healthy. Amazing.
Okay, I'm not getting.
Bacteria attract the fly
Oh.
from the fish, and we think that that's a healthy choice of food over a piece of chicken that you don't see flies run into. Get it?
Okay, so you're saying the flies won't go to the chicken?
The flies don't go to the chicken as they go to the fish because the more bacteria is in the decaying fish than in the chicken.
You got to show me the evidence of this.
You need you
because
go with somebody.
and I think that's a sign that chicken is something you shouldn't touch. But anyway, okay.
Okay.
I've never, you remember that's what they say, Chester, right? If you want to find out if the barracuda's poisoned, put it out and the flies don't go to that one. That means there's something wrong.
So why would you eat a food that's decaying more rapidly than another?
Because it doesn't have a lot of preservatives and stuff?
Oh, okay. Well, it's amazing, though, because when we used to gut fish in the middle of the ocean, flies used to show up in the ocean. But when we eat our chicken, flies don't come and bug us in the ocean. So the chickens are probably worse then.
Yeah, be afraid of that chicken. I don't know.
All right, okay.
Be very afraid. I don't know. Not a scientist, but that just doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. But you cutting up chicken in the middle of the ocean? That's a thing? Yeah. Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry about that. And good morning to your listeners, Poppy. I was thinking, like, I don't know if people...
Turn on your radio for us, please, if you can,
or
Popper.
folded cocaine, to have time to throw the cocaine away. I mean, to feed it to the sharks, I believe, like, maybe it's a possibility. I never know the sharks is to eat them, but that's a good information for us to think about. So, right, it is possible to see no AI or no joke, right? They saying they find cocaine inside the sharks, right?
I mean, things happen. I guess your stuff falls off the boat during a high-speed chase. Maybe your boat sank. Maybe no. I mean, well, they.
Cocaine.
It's not like
never had a test.
They're not like going to the house and getting a bag of it. It just is in the water. It's in the fish. It's consumed and it gets in the system. It's not like they.
So, Dwight, this is the first time we have tests on them, eh? That's the first time they ever do that test, eh? Because
the first time they did a test like that. It seems.
Because the sharks must see was ever eaten cocaine and stuff like that, what they find in the water, or there's something new? Dwight, I think you reported or you were saying something, the Prime Minister say he have a list too, right? I feel like we wouldn't have found out
He
this
said he
information.
has those concerns too. He's seeing issues too.
But I could hardly hear you.
He says he's seeing issues too. I don't know about a list, but whenever he sees issues, he turns it over to the Parliamentary Commissioner.
Okay, because I mean, and we would have liked to know that information. I mean, and they said a woman from Freeport, the member of Parliament, she say something about it. But I think it's good for Michael Pintard to bring the information to the Bahamian people, because it seems like they keep things them kind of private. I wonder. I listened to Wayne Munro, right? He's the leader in the House, I believe, or something.
Of government business in the House.
Of government business. He's make it sound like Michael Pintard's so desperate. Like, he's so desperate. Like, he's saying dumb things to us. And we like, if you listen, he say you must be careful. And in other words, I paraphrasing what it sound like he say to me. Like, don't take nothing serious with Michael Pintard. Don't take that seriously. Like, he exaggerating. I wonder, to some of us out here, right? All us ain't stupid. I wonder if Wayne Munro them believe, like, we stupid when they say these things to us. Or is it that Michael Pintard's so sad, he talking foolishness, and when he bring these things to our attention? You remember the director in immigration? Some people say she was forced to resign or leave, but I don't think she's there no more. We wouldn't know these things unless him and them other them other people, the coalition and other people tell us some things. So I believe when I hear Wayne Munro them talking and stuff like that, he really just like underestimate us, believe like we mightn't be smart like him, but we ain't stupid and dumb. We could put one and one together, and guess what? We know conspiracy theories out there, and they'll be talking things like that. But I don't think Michael Pintard, his job is not to go in there and talk foolishness. And what about the passport office? Everybody talking about if they doing it or if they ain't doing it. What would that thing with y'all smart people is called a forensic audit? You can't do something like that up there to the passport. For the time we've been hearing things about the passport office, we don't need to have a forensic audit up there.
These are
one passport, what illegal, is too much passport. And these people are talking about they get hundreds of these people them doing these foolishness. I think they need a forensic audit. Prime Minister, if you're listening, if it ain't too late before you ring the bell, let's have a forensic audit to the passport office and immigration. Thank you, Dwight.
Okay, that was a lot of questions, a lot of points raised, but interesting stuff. I think there's a little truth in everything, and yeah. Well, let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, are you there? Good morning. We can hear you. No? Okay. Let's get back to the text messages. This person says here, so the Prime Minister is saying that all Bahamians who don't listen and believe what they say are idiots? That's what I got. He and his cronies continue to change the narrative and not tell the truth, I'm editing, to the Bahamian people. Ring the bell, though. That's a text. This person says, I believe everything Michael Pintard is saying, including people who work in these government agencies, know what's going on and are very concerned. I agree with the Prime Minister because this is the third or fourth accusation of impropriety that Pintard raised. Why doesn't Pintard go to the police? And circulate the picture of the police report made also, not just the false accusation. Okay. 8 of the 74 people were registered. I hope they have been removed by now. And were most of the 8 registered in the same constituency? Someone's sending a story from, I don't know what year, but of passport employees being charged. Yeah, it's happened before. Is it right? Yeah. This person says here, you're right, Dwight, the chicken would clearly be more contaminated. Well, be concerned. Prevalent diseases are usually like sewage. Either we have illicit dumping like cruise ships back in the day or runoff from the sewage from nearby islands in the ocean. Well, we did a show on this, Chester. I don't know if you were on that show, where I think was it environmental health or is it? Anyway, there were concerns about how people dispose of their medication and how that could come back to become a problem, right? If it gets into the water table, if it gets into the ocean, and that was in the last year we did that show. So with the acetaminophen, that's Panadol and Tylenol, people are just throwing away the stuff. God knows how, and there has to be a proper way to dispose of this. It's getting into the water, into the fish. It could be a big problem. Big problem. Some more calls. Good morning. Call you on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan. Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
You know, even if we ring the bell, we only still will be in a better health. And so the thing is with me, the degree of naivety, it sickens me, Mr. Strachan. You know, I like your show. I even like your humor and all, you know. I mean, you know, just as somewhat reserved. But, you know, Mr. Strachan, I don't know why the public is amazed. It hurts me about the toxicity research on the fish. I mean, I've been calling these shows and talking about these things. You know, more than a decade ago, the United States released a study on some fish in the Gulf, etc., dolphins, etc. And I've been calling these shows for years, talking about dioxins, cadmium, lead, nickel, chromium, arsenic, glyphosate. All of these things are in fish. You can see it's a dumping ground. And I've made the suggestion, and this is the talk back in the early 20th century. It's called solution pollution. And this is what they still do, but it's just up for us to be mindful. That's all it really is, you know. It's not like what we think. I always said persistent organic pollutants, and anyone who read environmental books knows that when you throw something away, it doesn't mean that it goes away or stays away. And that's a degree of naivety as it relates to humans. It's just the sea looks clean, the air looks clean, the water that you drink looks clean, but it's not. And so, and for me, the problem is, as it relates to what Seattle was talking about, but the passports, we see what I experience, the human brain is very, very oblivious to things that the text they just wrote and reminded you of. So let's look at the Constitution. We know, and it's obvious that we put a digital panopticon on immigration and all these people who are responsible for these documents. We would know, we would see more, because what happens is, if you were telling me as a human being that the government, or I don't care which administration, was adhering or adhered to all of the stipulations to the Constitution as it relates to residency and citizenship, then I should just take my brains and stomp and throw it in the ground, because it's really ridiculous for us to believe that. And I go by what I observe. And in the inner city, most of the people of Haitian descent are voting for the PLP. And it's obvious. Give thanks, yeah.
Okay, it's obvious. Wow. Okay, hey, we got to go to the news. We will pick this up on the other side. There's more to talk about as well, including this new poll commissioned by the PLP about who would win if the general election were today. We're going to get into that in just a bit. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices, also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Float Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. And out at 8:22, it is time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. If you're looking to paint, your local Sherwin-Williams store has top-quality paints, expert advice, and everyday discounts to help you save only at Sherwin-Williams. So here's what's happening. We've got a near gale watch in effect for the northern Bahamas now. Near gale wind gusts are possible across northern islands today as a result of the widespread showers, rain, and isolated thunderstorms that continue over now the southern half of the country, courtesy of a quasi-stationary front south of the capital along with a prefrontal trough across the southeastern Bahamas. An eastward moving upward level trough will nudge the frontal boundary further southward, allowing for improving weather conditions over the northern half of the country today. But the showers and thunderstorms will continue to shift southwards, and that frontal boundary and the trough will progressively move away from the southeast Bahamas by late Friday evening into early Saturday morning. Then a drier weather pattern will filter across the northern half of the country due to high pressure building eastwards from the Gulf of Mexico into the new work week next week. Another cold front, though, may move near the northern Bahamas by Wednesday of next week, with fresh to locally strong winds and enhanced chances for showers. Before we get there, though, for today, there is a moderate risk of severe thunderstorm activity across the central and southeast Bahamas, and a moderate risk for localized flooding during heavy or prolonged rainfall over that part of the country, especially in low-lying and flood-prone areas. And there is a moderate to high risk of rip currents for Atlantic waters across the northern and northwest Bahamas and sheltered areas as well. Swimmers in these areas are advised not to get into the water. There's a slight to moderate risk of rip currents for the rest of the country today also. For today, your forecast for the northern half of the Bahamas, we're looking at partly cloudy conditions, a 20 to 40% chance of showers during the early morning hours for the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, but that should fall off a bit to about a 20 to 30% chance by midday. For the Central Islands, look for cloudy to overcast conditions, 40 to 60% chance of showers with isolated thunderstorms, and cloudy to overcast for the Southeast Bahamas as well, 40 to 60% chance of rain showers with thunderstorms. Temperatures today, look for highs approaching 80 for the northern half of the country, with overnight lows in the mid to upper 60s tonight. For the southern half of the country, we're looking at highs in the mid-70s with all the cloud and rain cover, and lows tonight in the low to mid-70s. In your extended outlook for Friday tomorrow, we are looking at variably cloudy conditions for the northern half of the country and partly cloudy to cloudy becoming overcast in the southeast Bahamas for the central and southeastern islands. Still elevated chances for rain in the southern half of the country. By Saturday, improving conditions, partly sunny for most areas, partly and mostly fair at night, and partly mostly sunny conditions by Sunday. We're back to partly cloudy by Monday and a mix of sun and clouds into Tuesday. And as we said, a front will get near to the northern Bahamas by Wednesday, with elevated chances for rain again by midweek next week. That's your morning blend weather check. Also brought to you by BTC. Attention small and medium business owners. If your internet is slowing down your business, it's time to upgrade to BTC Business Broadband. Get the speed, reliability, and support your business needs to stay connected and serve your customers without interruption. Whether you're running a store, managing a team, or processing online orders, BTC Business Broadband keeps you moving. Give them a call, 302-7700, or power your business with faster, more reliable internet. And a check of traffic brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Another challenging commute likely this morning, folks. We've got some flooded streets, and we've got some areas that were problematic yesterday, looking as problematic today. So along that Milo Butler Highway and New Providence Highway corridor, we're seeing heavy traffic, again, as usual, from Fire Trail straight through to Tawny Williams Darling Highway, but also north of that area into New Providence Highway, and that's going to go all the way up to the six-legged roundabout, and then the northern section of New Providence Highway seeing heavy traffic, especially southbound towards the new six-legged roundabout. But again, if you're heading northbound, you're going to run into that heavy traffic near Saunders Beach at that roundabout that has been a challenging place to be for weeks now, but especially in the last few days, you're seeing that heavy traffic again along West Bay Street, and that's backing traffic up, eastbound traffic, all the way to Goodman's Bay again this morning. That's one hotspot there for you. And then we've got Independence Drive. We've got flooding on the Independence Drive, so we're seeing heavy traffic westbound, but also eastbound. So between the two roundabouts at Blue Hill and East Street, you've got Independence Drive looking like the place you don't want to be this morning. And to get to Independence Drive, you're going to be having issues along Blue Hill Road. That's northbound from St. Vincent all the way up to the roundabout, and East Street as well, north and south of the intersection with Soldier Road. Elsewhere, we've got Eastern New Providence, Prince Charles Drive looking busy for you from about Beatrice Avenue straight through into Robinson and all the way up to Marathon East-West Highway. Old Trail backed up a bit as well, actually both directions. Old Trail not looking good for you this morning, and Soldier Road near Old Trail and Windsor Place seeing some slow-moving traffic at this hour. Gladstone Road back out to Western New Providence, seeing heavy traffic as well, northbound all the way up to Bahamar Boulevard and John F. Kennedy Drive, and you're going to be seeing that slow-moving eastbound traffic on John F. Kennedy Drive as you approach Prospect Ridge Road and Harold Road. Those are your hotspots, and that's your real-time traffic, brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. If you need cover you can count on, you can buy motor insurance your way. Stop by your nearest branch or visit nuainsurance.com. Simple, secure, and ready when you are.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Today you woke up and you told me that you wanted to cry.
pretend it's not the end of the world. Let's pretend it's not the end of the world.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you. I think we might have lost Chester Robards. Is he with us? Well, no. Who was filling in for Laverne Gardner, who's going to be back with us tomorrow. But we are talking about what's in the news. Coming up in a few minutes, though, we are going to be talking with SBDC, our monthly series with them in Morning Blend Business, and finding out more about the Empower Project Initiative and more. That's coming up. But again, we continue with what's in the news. So in response to, we got some more text messages to get through with what we were talking about earlier with the voter register concerns and what's happening with passports. So I'll just read these and then want to move on to something else. But this person says here, at my job, I came across a passport where Bahamian passport, I think they're saying, where the place of birth was Haiti, but the citizen is a Bahamian, bearing in mind that the person can't speak any English. I hope you made a phone call. You reported this. Did you? That one, because if you said the place of birth was Nassau, you know, the person could have moved when they were young, and maybe that's why they don't speak English. But that doesn't make much sense at all. I can't even come up with a scenario where that. I can't. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, this person says here, with all these people becoming citizens as per the notices in the daily paper, do they have time to issue fraudulent passports? It seems the legal ones would take all the time of the officials at the passport. I'm with you on that constitutional amendment, though. It shouldn't be used to make anyone who came here illegally legal. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, at least two parties are promising to do something about that. Not all, but two. And then this is a person who has concerns about the traffic. Yes, it's bad again today, and the rain and the flooded streets is not helping. But they're saying the Ministry of Works needs to deal with this crater across from Shell on West Bay Street. At 7:10, the line had already reached the Go Slow Bend. This is affecting thousands of commuters. Please appeal to the Ministry of Works. This was called in and the message was sent, but still nothing. This is unacceptable. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're not finished the work they're doing, and that's why it hasn't been dealt with yet. But it is a nightmare, I can imagine, and we're seeing it. We're seeing the traffic is backed up to places it normally isn't at this hour. So that's frustrating, I'm sure. All right, let's take some calls really quickly. I don't want to dwell on this much longer. We've talked about it quite a bit. There's some paper we need to get to today. But caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Dwight, how you doing, man?
Hi, good morning.
Just quickly, you have had in the past your friends from Ministry of Works on the show, and particularly when they were doing that road, Strachan Road project. And I wanted to understand, because I wrote the minister on this, because what we're experiencing with that West Bay Street scenario is as a result of this practice. Why is it that if someone is licensed and authorized to trench the road, dig up the road for a specific repair, why is it that that team doesn't have embedded within it a repaving expert, as opposed to having them separate and apart? So the people that are this entrenchment that was done on West Bay Street, this was done on the weekend, just before the rainy spell started, and the people who did the digging was separate from the people who had to come a few days later to do the repairing the surfacing. Mm-hmm. Problem is by the time they came, it was raining. And I think that if they change the strategy of, digging and then finding somebody else, another separate contractor to do the paving, we could have avoided a lot of these problems that you see where a hole is left open for days on end, and it creates this kind of problem that the pavement people are experiencing. That being said, Dwight, we seem to be mixing the terminologies into one when it comes to a fraudulent passport or a passport obtained by means of fraudulent documents.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to distinguish between the two of those. What is happening, because I say this because both the PLP and the F&M, to their credit, has benefited and continues to benefit from the expertise and the services of one of the world's leading passport and currency security company. Those persons and people who work for Banknote International out of Canada, as Wayne Munro mentioned in the House of Assembly sometime earlier this week, they are the best in the world. So we don't have a passport document security issue.
I think all of it is happening, right? I think there are people with this is a terrible impersonation of a Bahamian passport, and then there are people who actually, through fraud, went in and dealt with somebody who's corrupt and gave them an authentic Bahamian passport. So it's probably both. It's probably
that's not what I meant, though. What I mean is that the passport office is not releasing fraudulent passports. That's the point that I made.
I don't know. I don't know if you can say that. There have been people who've been charged who work there.
Not from the office. Not out of the passport office. And again, I think what we keep doing is there are different points of this discussion, different levels of this discussion that we lump all into one. But the point I'm making is that the quality and the security of the Bahamian passport, the ability to tamper with that document itself, and successfully tamper with that document that's not a task that is possible.
Okay, all right. But again, there have been people who've been charged. It's not everybody, of course not, but they're bad apples. Without a doubt, some people were charged recently, but it shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be easy, and we're hoping they've weeded out the bad apples. But yeah. All right, so we want to move on. So we told you the F&M ratified their final two candidates, including Michael Pintard from Marco City and James Leo Ferguson for MyCal. That happened last night. Also yesterday, this poll, the PLP putting out information about a poll that it commissioned and the results of the poll. Let's go through the statement that they issued, and then the F&M issued a statement in response to that. But this is some interesting stuff here. So, new national poll shows PLP leading, Davis most trusted to lead on the economy and creating opportunities. So, a new national survey of Bahamian voters shows the Progressive Liberal Party holding a clear lead over other parties, with Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis the most trusted leader to guide the country through challenging times. The poll conducted February 12th through 24th. Again, this is the PLP statement. The poll conducted February 12th through 24th, 2026, among 805 Bahamians nationwide finds that when voters are asked which party they would support if a general election were held today, among likely voters, the PLP had 38% of the vote. The F&M had 18%. The COI had 12%. And undecided was 29%. 29%. All right, so 38% for the PLP, 18% for the FM, 12% for the COI, but 29%. That's a very, very, very large number. And if those people made up their minds, this could very much turn this poll around in a big, big, big way. 29%. Anyway, and then it also says PLP is seen as best for the economy and opportunity. The PLP is viewed as the strongest party on core economic issues. When asked which party is good for the economy, 44% chose the PLP, 14% chose the FNM, 11% chose the COI, and again, 31% undecided. Wow. Okay. On which party can create opportunities for Bahamians? 41% chose the PLP, 15% chose the FNM, 15% chose the COI, and 29% undecided. So, encouraged but focused on the way ahead. This is a quote from the party. These findings show the Bahamians recognize the progress underway and trust the PLP to keep the country moving forward. Prime Minister Davis and his 18-point trust advantage over the leader of the opposition underscores the confidence voters have in his leadership during tough times. That margin is significant. At the same time, a substantial number of voters remains undecided. Yes. We are encouraged by the momentum and will continue engaging voters across every island to earn their support. So a bit on the methodology. It says a survey was conducted by a public domain between February 12th and 24th among 805 Bahamians nationwide via live interviews on both landlines and cell phones. The margin of error is plus or minus 3.5% for the full sample and plus or minus 4.3% among likely voters. Okay. All right. That's the PLP. Again, that was commissioned by them, and that's their statement. The FNM issued a statement shortly afterwards saying the headline is Desperate PLP Putting Out Fake Polls. Wow. While the PLP is trying to market its own self-funded survey, Bahamians are still watching food and electricity bills rise. Doctors and healthcare workers are still waiting to be paid by NHI. Gas prices are about to hit new highs. Okay. And the PLP has no plan to help lower these prices. Furthermore, claims of a so-called surplus fail to account for the $241 million in unpaid bills owed to thousands of Bahamian businesses and individuals. Young Bahamian families are still locked out of the housing and rental market. The government promised to fix and hasn't. More and more foreigners are getting visas and citizenship at the expense of Bahamians. The FNM remains focused on the Bahamian people while the PLP continues its political stunts, such as surveys they paid for. Fishermen never say their fish stink. As the saying goes, the only poll that really matters is on election day. The PLP is clearly desperate. They sense the political tide has turned, which is why they are trying to distract from their falling polling numbers and their failures as a government. Okay, well. Let's get your reaction to all of it, folks. The poll numbers, the high percentage of undecided voters, what does that mean? And who is going to benefit the most from that? And what the opposition is saying about it as well. Call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's go to the phone. Oh, Chester, you're back. Okay.
Oh,
thought that was a voice from up high. Like, what was that? All right. Yes. What's your view on this before we take the calls?
Are our undecided numbers typically that high?
I don't know. That seems a little higher than usual, though.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
Sample size is small, too.
Well, yes, perhaps. It's very scary, But the spin, at least they acknowledge that the number is high. Boy, what does that mean? And who does that benefit the most? And what does that mean? Will those people not show up to vote, or will they, at the last minute, make up their mind? What do we think is going to happen here? Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Strachan, how you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Barkey here, and your guest. Mm-hmm. You know, Mr. Strachan, this reminds me of 1992. Then after 25 years, basically, all to me, what I observed back then was basically all the black people in the Bahama were PLP. And when the switch came with Mr. Ingram leaving to go over to the F&M, there's a lot of PLPs that didn't vote for Pinland in the 92 election because they figured they had Pinland after 25 years had too much. You know, to me, it appeared that he had almost become a like mini dictator. And then it wasn't mostly Pinland, it was his cronies around him that started to feel the power. And then everybody just, let's get him out, give Mr. Ingram a chance. And now, to me, it seems to be scary again, because where I tried to ask the young people out, just coming out of school and so forth, check their age and see if they registered or what, and a lot of the young people seem to be uninterested. Most of them uninterested in even registering to vote. And I try to explain to them, but, you know, your future of your country depends on you, because us old goats be moving aside. And the youth don't seem to be really interested. They can't get no jobs. They're coming out with this D average, and, you know, it's confusing to me right now.
But what part of this
going on?
What part of this reminds you of 92? Because I think in 92 the youth made a big difference. They were very enthusiastic to vote.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I say this is scary now, because when I listen to most of the young people in my area, when I ask them, are you registered? I don't even ask them, are you PLP or FNM or COI? Are you registered? Man, Mr. Sparky, I don't even care, but I don't even care what's going on. I just want a job. I just want to work. I just want to do something. Mm-hmm. I said, but you got to register. It's the future for you and your children. If you get children, it's just scary right now. I really don't know. It's scary. That's all I can say. The people in my area that I ask, majority of them are not even thinking about registering to vote. That's what scares me. And before I go, the numbers when we look at this thing with the illegal people, remember there's 12 million people in Haiti. We haven't hit the half of 1 million people yet. We still bordering around 400,000 Bahamians. If 1 million out of 12 million come from Haiti to the Bahamas, there'll be no more Bahamians in the Bahamas. Where will we go when we have to run and leave our own country? And the guy said the other day, he'd rather die than to go back home to Haiti. If they don't go back home and build their own country, what's going to happen to us?
Well, the country is so small that you could say that about any group of people who are not from here, right? So, sure. Thank you, Sparky. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing, man?
Doing well.
All right. Interesting poll. I tend to almost lean towards the poll because the poll says a lot. And let me tell you why I lean more towards it. It actually shows a grave error in relation to the exposure for the sitting administration in those that undecided is very, very high.
Extremely.
And that in itself can expose the sitting government, even though it shows favor in their side in relation to the set numbers, that undecided voter can shift things in such a way that it can cause some issues with the sitting administration. So I hear what the opposition said, and I some of it I understand, but I think that undecided patch there says a whole lot more than we want to give it credit for. That it still leaves a high level of exposure for any sitting government in relation to what it's coming forward and what it's presenting. So I tend to believe it the numbers somewhat. I don't know what you think about it, but I think it leans towards a deficit for those who are undecided, and they can make a big difference.
Yeah, well, I agree. That's what I was saying. None of these parties should be feeling comfortable right now with the number of undecided voters in that poll. And when you talk to people, I think it is reflective of how people are feeling right now. They don't know which direction to turn because of past experiences, current experiences, and unusual language from some others as well. So we're in a very interesting place, many voters. Caller would say you, though. Are you there? Let's take the other line. Hi, good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Hey, Dwight, how you doing? Dwight, may I ask a question? What if the only people they call about PLP is the NASA results of the PLPs who would support the PLP?
Now, public domain, they are been around for a long time. You think that would be the case? You think they would put themselves through something like that?
No, I'm just simply saying statistically, for the small sample of people they call, the high possibility that they could.
So well.
So, those people would be, I'm saying that, let's say 60% of them or 70% of them, then you proportion it out, then that would mean that even the party supporters don't support the party.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sure, C. Allen. Okay. In any event, 29% of the people are undecided, and that would change everything if they made up their mind and decided to vote in a particular way for any other one of these groups. Let's call on. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Mr. Strachan.
Hi. Good morning.
Okay, I have a different take on what's being reported, right? Remember a week or two ago, the PLP had a town meeting, and there's a town meeting in Freeport, right, where the opposition leader was heckled, basically. And
yes.
now we have this survey now with the PLP done, and the PLP saying that they're leading. Those undecided voters, the people who are undecided, so I'm going to say now, look here, man, the PLP going to win again, man. Let's go vote PLP.
I don't think everybody's that stupid.
No, that's what I'm saying now. Like the PLP always appeals to their base. That's what Mr. Davis is doing, appealing to his base, right? And the people who are undecided, they on the fence. So I think there's two instances now where the Mr. Pindar is being outmaneuvered by the PLP. So therefore, their war room got to start doing some stuff, because the discussion now is saying the PLP is leading, and then in Freeport they're saying, oh, Mr. Pindar doesn't like Bahamians, so he likes favors the Port Authority. You understand what I'm saying? So it might not be reality for a lot of people. For some people, it might be reality. That's my point for the day. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Let's read some messages before we get back to the calls. This person says here, I'm really trying to see why they thought that with a margin of undecided voters so wide, it made sense to release this data. It's very interesting. Very interesting. This person says here, they're calling into questions... question the methodology. Let's just put it like that. They're saying more, but let's just put it like that. A fully independent poll with questions that are not crafted to get the results you want would have more legitimacy. What you see going to happen with the next general election, is that the undecided number represents the many people like the last who will stay home. Not necessarily. It's possible, but not necessarily. The PLP will benefit from that, and that their true supporters will come out to support them, and they will win the next election, while a lot of the F&Ms or people who do not support the PLP will stay home. It could mean that, or this might encourage them to actually get out. This could backfire in quite a way. You never know. You never know. This person says here, I participated in the poll. I asked the lady why the questions are leading questions that don't give a wider array of answers. Oh, boy. And seem to direct rather than request honest answers. Yikes. The poll, in my opinion, was to find out if the person didn't support the PLP, which opposition party they did support. Then went on to inquire which would get the voter to change their minds, obviously to the PLP. It was not a poll to find out which would win, but what would it take to change the voters' minds. That's very interesting. I have had a concern about the leading questions of these polls before. They used to call my number far too frequently, but I'd say, why are you asking me that? That is a weird question to be asking. Like, No, I'm not answering that question. No way. So I don't understand. But I mean, I get what this text was saying. I don't understand why sometimes these pollsters do the things they do. Or maybe I do. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Dwight, when was this poll taken again?
February.
In February. Now, they have been saying with the excitement that they're going to call the election within weeks. But what have they delivered?
Soon.
The governing party within that time. Remember now, the Hubert Minnis factor, that 29% and 31% Hubert Minnis factor, I think plays, that chasm of undecided voters plays into what the F&M support has not garnered.
I don't understand a word you just said. What? The what? Hubert Minnis and undecided what?
The undecided set of voters, right? That chasm of voters. It says each of those questions says 29 to 30%, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the Hubert Minnis factor, right, plays somewhat into that.
Oh,
now,
really?
Those people will move. Most people that haven't decided to support the government in all elections normally do not go with the sitting party when they walk up to the booth. You see what I'm saying? And the Minnis factor, what I'm saying, does not cater to the PLP and will more than likely break with the opposition. So whoever, like Ciala said, if it was a poll and the previous texter said those questions were leading question as to what it takes to change them with the governing party. And here the opposition is saying that their fish don't stink. So it was a PLP-controlled survey. And let's just say now, too, to digress from that, Pintard has tabled fraudulent documents in our House of Parliament. Tell me, Mr. Prime Minister and Mr. Minister of National Security and Mr. Minister in charge of the Passport Office, where are your documents? Because it can't be that only the F&M got fraudulent documents. Stop holding back and stop trying to fool us, because you can't fool all the people all the time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. I think you meant to say that he tabled documents alleging fraud. The government is saying that he tabled fraudulent documents for real, but documents alleging fraud, sure. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there?
Morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, Dwight. Now all of us could see, I mean, who was looking, especially on this show for 14 years, right? Why we don't have a freedom of information act, right? You can see the games with these people display, right? Because what the parliament is saying, both sides, we don't have a freedom of information because we can't prove these things infinitely or right. So this is what our leaders been doing to us for a little while in this country, simply because the chances are of us getting the proper information despite the signs of things happening, right? The chances are for you getting the proper information in the country is almost impossible to some degree.
You're bringing up freedom of information in regards to what? The poll?
No, in regards to what the Prime Minister was talking about, right?
No, that is not going to help with that.
Right, but
that
when it comes
that
to
wouldn't
the polls, right?
stop that type of problem.
Yeah, but right, you don't think we could find out if we had a Freedom of Information Act, right? You don't think some of these things wouldn't even have been necessary to even go inside the House of Assembly because somebody would have picked it up and it possibly could have been dealt with before even needing to go to the House of Assembly, right? But when it comes to the
we need it so bad that now it's developed a myth, an aura, that it will solve every single problem in the country, and it's not going to do that. So let's be reasonable. There's still going to be people doing foolishness, and you will not know everything that happens. But we desperately need it. We do. And we need it immediately. But some of these things will still happen. You can see, look around the world, they have freedom of information, and the crap continues. But hey, we got to leave it there. We got to take a break. Got to go to the news. We'll be back with more Morning Blend in Business coming up. Stay with us.
Baby, you've been thinking about the future like it's already yours. Show me how you'd hold me if tomorrow wasn't coming for sure. Let's pretend it's not the end of the world. Let's pretend it's not the end of the world.
At Star General, you can go gold. Comprehensive car insurance covers loss or damage from accidents, fire, theft, and third-party liability. But the Gold package gives you increased coverage for rental car and windscreen, personal accident, medical benefits, deductible waiver, and 24-hour roadside assistance where available. Our Star General Gold package also gives you up to $2,500 for accidental damage to a rental car anywhere in the Bahamas. Go gold with Star General. Insurance made simple.
It's a milestone celebration at Nassau Tile. Join us March 23rd through the 28th for our 96th anniversary sale. We're celebrating with 20% off store-wide. Plus, get 25% off select wood look and large format porcelain and 30% off select 24 by 24 tiles. Visit our showroom on Dodgewell Street or call 322-2100. For every space, for every style, think Nassau Tile.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, March 19th, 2026. This is Morning Blend Business. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Chester had to leave us, but this morning it is time for our monthly series with SBDC, and today we are talking about the Empower Project Initiative.
Yes.
Joining us, we are happy to have back with us SBDC Innovation Manager Blair Evans, and from Department of Inland Revenue Communications Manager John Williams. Good morning. Great to have you both back with us.
Good morning.
It's good to be back.
Yes, thanks for having us.
All right, so there's always something very exciting going on at SBDC, but Inland Revenue is part of this. This is very interesting. So what is Empower? What is the Empower Project Initiative all about?
Yeah, so the Empower Project is we like to call it a community business activation. And that kind of explains why we have our partner at the Department of Inland Revenue. So this initiative is focused on inner city, micro-sized entrepreneurs. And we're really focusing and pushing formalization. We recognize that a lot of persons in these inner city areas that we're targeting are operating informally. And so this is why we thought it best to have the Department of Inland Revenue as one of our core partners for this program.
Mm-hmm. Operating informally. Explain exactly what that means. Like, how informal is this?
I guess I'll take it.
Yeah. Hey, John Williams.
Well, again, it's always said, we love to provide a service, or we love to provide a product that our friends and our families support entirely, because, persons always are hustling or looking for ways, to make money.
Right.
But what the department wants you to be is compliant. What the government wants you to be is compliant. And a good way outside of us pushing that fact, when we work with agencies like the SBDC, when they're issuing grants and funds to persons, their main thing is that you need your business license.
Correct.
And so we love the fact that they are telling persons, hey, we can help you create your business, continue your business, but you need to be compliant. And that's really all the department ever wants from you.
Yeah. Any idea of numbers, like how many businesses you think are functioning in this space?
There are quite a bit that are functioning that way. Again, like I say, persons, sometimes they just don't know that, okay, I'm just doing this online. I'm just selling something from my car.
Right.
Or, I just do a massage on the side, or I do nails on the side. I don't need a license.
Yeah.
But we always tell persons, any service you're providing, any product that you're providing, you need a business license in accordance with the law. That's not policy. That's actual law. It doesn't matter where you're providing it, if you have a storefront, if you're operating from home, it simply doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And this is something we see from micro-sized businesses a lot of time. They don't view themselves as a business owner, an entrepreneur.
Right.
They're just seeing it as a hobby, something they do on the side.
Correct.
So we're trying to empower them also to see themselves in that way and work towards formalizing themselves and building up that business.
Yeah. All right. So tell us how this is going to work, how the project is going to tackle this.
Yeah, so similar to our other programs, we're going to include, of course, a training component. We're doing it a little bit differently. So rather than it just being an online course, we're going to have some in-person sessions. So we have 3 in-person options, so they can choose one of the 3. And those will be held at different community centers in the different areas that we're targeting for this program. And I didn't mention the areas, but we're focusing firstly on 8 areas: Bain and Grantstown, Centerville, Fox Hill, Freetown, Marathon, Nassau Village, St. Barnabas. I think that was 8.
Right.
So we're having those 3 sessions in 3 of the different areas, and giving persons different times, different days to be able to attend that session. So it'll be a bit of a crash course. So you come in for 2 hours, you get all of the business fundamentals, and you get a chance to speak with some SBDC advisors, and they're going to be helping you in terms of how to tackle your grant application. How should I use these funds if I am awarded? How do I source invoices and things of that nature? We also are having a business license drive. So this is going to be the big event of this program. And what we're going to do is bring in all of the different agencies that are involved in the business license process all under one roof in one day. You kind of bring your documents and you get on the spot assistance with your business license. And hopefully by the end of it, if you can leave with a business license in hand, or at least have significantly progressed through that process.
So this is for people who do not have a business license.
Correct. Or some persons, they may be in progress. They may have some inquiries.
Yeah, okay.
They may need to renew. And so all of those persons are welcome to come to that event.
Any particular things they need to bring?
Well, it would honestly depend on your business nature.
Yeah.
And if you're operating a home-based business license, or a storefront. So let me set the expectation with events like this, because we do this all the time. If you're opening a storefront, you're not going to leave with your business license.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, because when you're dealing with the storefront, you have persons like Ministry of Works that have to do inspections of your place. All right, so I want to set that expectation. If you're operating a home base, there's a strong chance that you can leave with the business license, because as long as we have inland revenue in place, you have physical planning in place, you have NIB in place, those are the 3 core agencies that you will need to ensure you leave with your business license, outside of bringing identification like your passport, an NIB smart card.
And if that back room in the house is a store, what does that mean?
You would not be granted it, right? So again, home base, this is where physical planning comes in, right? So depending on your business nature and the area you live in, you're either going to be approved or denied. Certain business natures will not be allowed they consider them commercial only. And so you can't operate a commercial business in a residential area. And we spoke about this at the launch. It's important for our agencies to work together to ensure that everybody's on the same page. Inland is not telling persons you just have to do this. And then they're shocked if physical planning does not approve them, or Ministry of Works tells them that they need something else. And then they're back to us saying, well, you said. It's important that, we have these meetings. We work along with everybody. So when we're on the same page, when persons like the SBDC are interested in doing these events, these wonderful events, they know exactly what they have to advise persons that they need. And then there's just a seamless process after that.
Yeah. So for those, I'm sure a lot of people feel like, well, if I do this, that means I'm going to have to pay all kinds of money now. And so what is the truth, and what is likely to happen, what's not likely to happen? Explain that to folks.
Well, the truth is, for new business licenses, they are essentially free. All right. The only fee that you're going to have to pay is for your trade name, and that is what you want the business to be called. All right. And the reason that came about now is because persons would reserve trade names and never go through with the business license. So when John comes around and he wants to open John's Chicken Shack, that's already taken, but it never opened.
Yeah.
And the reason why we have that now is because you don't want someone operating with the same name. That'd be like having two jungle groups with the same name.
That's unheard of.
And we know that's unheard of.
That would never happen.
And so that fee is $25, and that is assessed at the end of the business license process. So you apply, you get approved, we process it, and at the end we ask you to pay the $25. We add it to your business license, and then we issue it.
You pay that every year, or is
no, that's a one time. That's
okay.
a one time fee. Now, when you're renewing, we ask that you submit your renewal in January. When you do not do that, and February 1st rolls around, then you can be assessed late fees. And then if you have some general fees according to your turnover amount, if you don't pay them by March 31st. Then you're looking for additional fees.
Right. All right. So remind folks about the consequences of not being properly licensed. If you are operating this business, but you never go through all of it.
There are lots of consequences, right? And persons don't realize how much power and how many issues that they can get into, right? So it goes away from receiving fines, even possible jail time, closure, cancellation of your business. But again, those are extreme measures, right? So we have full compliance units. We have all of those in place. We give you calls, we send you emails, we visit, and we do this multiple times. Now, when you're not adhering to any warnings and stuff like that, then we look to see what we need to do. But we don't ever want to close a business. We simply just want you to be compliant. Right. And persons are fair of compliance for monies and stuff like that. It's not that, like that. It's nothing to fear. We just want you to be compliant, because let's take the season that we're in now. A lot of persons are anticipating assistance or contracts and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah, I mean, we're coming to the middle of the year. A lot of things have to be done. Some persons have look for landscaping things. School may be closed soon, so they're going to look for cleaning contracts for schools and stuff like that. And a lot of businesses are popping up, whether it be online, be creatives and stuff like that. And in order to do work for the government and some private agencies, they're going to ask you for your business license. And so it's important for you to be compliant with the government in order to work for them or even to be paid.
Do you see a big, like a surge in people coming in after the general election for the business licenses?
There's always a surge. There's always opportunity that comes about around election time, around end of year, Christmas time, New Year time. There's just seasons throughout the year that we see an influx of requests for licenses.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So what about the Family Islands? Are we doing this on the Family Islands as well? Or I don't think any of the 8 that you mentioned were
No.
Family
So
Islands.
this program is those 8 areas in New Providence, at least in this first instance, for this first cohort, we'll see. So maybe in the future we'll touch on some others. But we do have some things coming up for the Family Islands very shortly.
All right. And does DIR have concerns about the Family Islands?
Well, we're always trying to include the Family Islands in everything that we do because, we're not just New Providence centric. So anytime we're doing, I think we participated in an event with the Abaco Chamber of Commerce recently that had an event similar to what the SBDC is doing. We travel to the Family Island as much times as we can to have town halls and, just to assist persons, especially where we don't have offices. In New Providence coming up just next week, we're going to have an event similar to what the SBDC is doing. It's our financial symposium. It's on Wednesday and Thursday. That's the 25th and 26th at the National Baseball Stadium. And again, it's where we have all of our agencies in place to help that deal with the business license process. And then we also have other agencies like lending agencies, banks, to help with the financial side and planning side of persons starting their business or trying to look for their business to grow.
Okay, all right, excellent. So you've got some dates. We'll get to that in a bit, but we've got some questions on the text line. Sure. So this person is asking, what if you have a home-based business, but you want to change it to a store, front, or office location? I mean, I'm not sure.
Hey, I understand that. We get that. Yeah, we get that all the time.
Yeah.
So that's a simple process, which we call change of circumstance. So we only ask that you get the relative approvals, which would be, again, physical planning, Ministry of Works. Depending on what it is, you may require BAFSA. And once you bring those approvals to us, it's a simple process going online, creating the case, uploading the approvals, and then we take it from there.
But in any event, you need a business license regardless. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, so this person says, define this for me. My business is on the same property as the house. They are separate buildings. Is this still a home-based business?
Boy, it would depend on the nature of that business. Because again, physical planner would not award you the approval to operate that business in that area. So chances are he would not be able to get that home-based approval, and that's based on zoning. Like I said, physical planner deals with zoning. So they would tell you if you can operate a mechanic shop in Seabreeze or something like that, and they'll probably tell you can't operate a commercial business in a residential area.
Right. The back room is more of a case than a separate building on the property. Yeah. All right. So I was wondering this myself. How long is an approved trade name valid for? So if I pay,
it's valid. Once you get it, it's valid. But
I will own that trade name.
You will own that trade name. Now, when you're
even if I go out of business,
you would still own that trade name. Now, if you're at a certain level, I think with, and I could be wrong, but I think when you're dealing with limited companies, you're dealing with NPOs and stuff like that. Every year, I think with the registrar, you're required to, pay some fees and let them know you're still there, you're operating, everything's still the same, etc.
Okay.
But with us, with standard sole trader names and stuff like that, once you get it, it's yours.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So this is a little bit different. I think this text was asking about, we heard people calling some shows saying this as well. They're still waiting for their
business license.
Yeah.
So persons have been waiting, yes. Now, I want to remind persons that if you submitted your renewal in the month of January, your 2025 business license is still valid until March 31st.
Okay.
If you have not received your license in the portal, please just send us a message and we will get that license out to you. Even if you send a message right in the portal, it's right on the homepage. You'll end up with an inquiry number. Just simply state, I have not received my license. We will check it out. And then we will try to see if we can get it issued to you. But a lot of persons are not checking their portal. They're probably looking in their email, and it's not going to be in your email. You need to check your portal and see if it's there. If you can't get through to us that way, pop into the office, and we'll make sure you get your license.
So can you guarantee that everybody who applied in January will have theirs by the 31st of March?
No, I can't guarantee that. I will not make any guarantees on this radio today. But I will say that, again, if you have not received it, just shoot us a message and we'll see what the issue is. I mean, we're dealing with technology sometimes. Technology fails us and we have to insert the human element. So we'll check it out and make sure we get your license to you. But your license is valid until March 31st once you would have put in your renewals in the month of January.
Just curious. We don't want to dwell on it too long, but what's causing some of the delays? Why
again, just technology. Just some issues with our system every now and again. Sometimes they're issued and they don't go through fully. So it causes an issue, but that's why we always stress that, it's valid. You don't technically really need it unless you're maybe doing some international business, and then we definitely want to make sure that you get the license for 2026. So we always send messages to banks, to Bahamas Customs, to other accounting agencies in the government, Bahamas Treasury, allow things to go through with the person's 2025 license, or as long as they can show proof that they submitted in January.
And that's beyond March 31st.
No, that's up to March. Up to March
if you don't
31st,
have it by March 31st, what happens?
I mean, we just have to get your license to you. Okay. It would be, we're trying to avoid that. So, we're working overtime. We're trying to get all of these licenses out for persons.
Yeah. This text here, this person says that there are people who offer services for business license assistance. Can you clarify their limitations and the process of becoming an approved individual to offer that service?
We have agents that do business license work. They do all of our services, actually. There's no real... You determine their limitation, on your account, all right? So you can control your account. They can have your login information. They can have access to certain things to be able to put certain information on your portal. So it really depends on you, on how much access you have. What we want to remind taxpayers is that when you're dealing with agents, ensure that when they are doing your work, they're giving you your account information so that you can have your own login and under your own TIN. All right, so that in the event that, okay, you did it for me in 2026, when it's time for me, I think I can do it on my own now. You have access to your own account. So there's no real, limitation per se.
And again, if you're concerned that you haven't received yours yet, what should you do?
Just shoot us a message. Shoot us a message on the portal in an E&Q. Or you can visit us or give us a call. We have a fully functioning social media page, capital DIR Bahamas. Send us a message on Facebook. We only need your TIN, and we will verify that your process is actually complete, that you have not received your license, and we will get it out to you.
And the number?
225-7280. Now, I just want to also slip in another note. If you have multiple licenses, and one of those licenses involves the sale of liquor, you will not receive that liquor license until your liquor registration is complete. Now, you'll probably be able to receive the other license. That will be issued to you, but the one that involves the sale of liquor, you will not receive until the full liquor registration process is complete.
All right, and how's that going? Really?
It's going good.
That's a whole show. We can have you back for that.
It's not bad,
some people had some concerns.
Yeah, some persons are compliant, but they have to understand that they have to go through the full process. You must fill out Form A. You have to fill out Form B, and Form B involves once you get all the approvals again, so you can upload them. They have to understand anyone that deals with the sale of liquor will require this liquor registration, whether it's a new business or a renewal.
Okay. All right. So Blair Evans, the InPower Project Initiative, is there a deadline to be a part of this?
Yes. So registration, we've actually extended the deadline. So it's open until this Sunday, March 22nd, I believe, at 11:59 p.m. So you can find that link on our social media, on our website. We have a WhatsApp channel also, so you can visit our social media to find the link for that WhatsApp channel, and we're posting updates in there constantly. In terms of other dates, today is a big day for us. So one of the training sessions is this evening at the Fox Hill Community Center at 6 p.m.
You have to be registered to take part in that?
Yes. So there are two separate links. You can RSVP for the training in a separate link, but it will ask you, hey, have you already registered? If not, you still have an opportunity to do so until Sunday. We expect that we'll get some persons walking in also, so we will assist those persons with getting registered once they come in today.
And you said tonight at
6 p.m., 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Fox Hill Community Center.
Okay.
So that's one of our training session options. We have the second session this Saturday, March 21st. That will be from 10 to 1 at the Edmund Moxie Community Center.
Okay.
The final one, I think, is next week, Wednesday, March 25th. Same time, 6 to 8:30 at the R.M. Bailey High School.
Okay. Wow. And again, what's going to be happening at the training sessions?
Yeah, so it's going to be a crash course. So it's going to be led by a facilitator walking through the business fundamentals. So they're going to touch on, how to put business plan together, strategy, mission, vision, your financials, how to separate business, personal funds. We'll talk about marketing and branding and putting yourself out there. We'll talk about how to automate certain aspects of your business, which is important for, sole proprietors, being able to utilize these tools like, WhatsApp catalogs and Canva and all of the AI tools that are out there today. So we'll touch on some of that also.
Okay. And then there's some other deadlines or other key dates.
Yeah. So also the grant application. So grant funds are not guaranteed. You have to submit an application to be considered. So that also opens today. We wanted to open that today so we can give or have those in-person touch points as opportunities for persons to ask questions and get clarity on their application. So that will be open from today until April 10th.
Right.
So they'll have sufficient time to, talk with somebody about it if they need assistance.
Okay. And again, you mentioned the business license drive.
Yes, that's on March 28th. So that's next week, Saturday.
And where's that going to be again?
That's going to be at NIB. So further details will be released about that event. So you'll be seeing some promotion specifically around that event coming out shortly.
And DIR will be there?
DIR will be there.
Okay.
When SBDC calls, we come by.
Okay.
Shout out to SBDC.
And then the closing date for the grants. And when will people find out if they receive the grant?
So April 10th is the closing date for that. The adjudication process can be a couple weeks long, typically 4 weeks, but sometimes more depending on the program. So we don't have an exact date yet, but typically it's around 4 weeks after the application closes.
Okay. And what's the total amount you can get from the grant?
Up to $5,000.
Up to $5,000.
Yes.
Okay, excellent stuff. I'm just curious, John, is there like the strangest thing you ever heard anybody applying for a business license?
We've kind of heard it all. I mean, honestly, we've heard it all. Some I probably wouldn't even say, but I can tell you the most common ones again. Like landscaping,
yes,
and cleaning, general maintenance, construction, and then of course the regular stores, nail salons, and stuff like that. But we've heard it all. Everything is being done. Like I said, there's some creative businesses that are coming up. Creatives are stepping up and realizing that they too need business licenses and stuff like that. So we're encouraging all. That's why we love the SBDC because they allow us to be exposed and connect with entrepreneurs and business persons, aspiring and persons who exist. And so when they call, we are there because it helps with compliance and it helps with education.
Yeah.
And based on our current registration breakdown as of today, the majority of registrants are startups or, just in that idea phase. So we have a lot of persons that probably are not formalized just yet and just wanting to start out.
Yeah.
So this process is really going to help them.
Yes. Excellent. So to anybody out there who's reluctant, like I really still want to fly under the radar, I don't want to get, I just need this to be a small little thing on the side.
Yeah,
what do you say to them?
I think we designed this program with that hands-on support to kind of, quell some of those fears that persons may have. We're giving you the support with your application. We're giving you the agencies. If you were to do this on your own, it may be difficult. You'll have to go to the different agencies on your own, but we're bringing them all together. So we're trying to reduce the friction and make it more accessible. So hopefully we can, support you in not being as afraid.
Yeah.
And then when you want to, you don't want to do what the typical person does, right? That's flying under the radar. You have the social media page, you have the flyers, fantastic business cards and stuff like that, and then you realize that wait, this person also has my name, and that person has a license.
Wow!
And now you're stuck and you can't do anything with everything that you've invested on that side, and now you have to rebrand and you have to do all of that. So. Yeah. You have to, if you take it from that perspective of owning what your name and what you're doing, you want to be compliant. You want to get the business license, and it's free. So go ahead and do it.
All right, we got a few minutes. You can take a couple calls. We got a couple more text messages to get through. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. You can tweet us, you can Facebook us, you can text us, 422-4796. Talking with Blair Evans with SBDC and John Williams with Department of Inland Revenue. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. I just want to ask. I heard about the Foxville Community Center, which is going to be open tonight at 6 p.m. So you have to sign up for that.
Yeah, so you can sign up. So if you visit our websites, any of our social media pages at SBDC Bahamas, so Instagram, Facebook, etc., you'll find a link to our WhatsApp channel. If you join that WhatsApp channel, all of the links will be in there, including the link to RSVP for that session this evening. Now, you can walk in also, and we will just register once you arrive. But just to help us know how many persons we're expecting, we'd prefer if you can RSVP beforehand.
Okay, I'll try an RSVP.
Awesome.
But I am able to walk in.
Yes.
Okay, so that's SBDC Bahamas.
Yes, on all channels. That's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all of them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. I think this is for you, John. There's an issue when you're trying to renew a license while putting in the estimated turnover. If you have multiple businesses with the same nature, it doesn't submit the turnover. Is there a way to still submit your estimate?
I've heard that. Yes, I've heard that error. There is a way that we can do it. Let that person send us a message. You can message our Facebook page. Someone on my team will definitely look into that. Just send us your TIN, and then we'll take it from there.
This one might be for you as well, I guess. That
sounds long.
An interesting one.
Wow.
It's just interesting. I'm concerned about all the foreign hair braiders that charge hundreds of dollars to clients, and most of them are not compliant. Not compliant in terms of what? Business license? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we have a thing. Send us a message. Let us know. Call us. It can be anonymous. It doesn't matter. Let us know if you have concerns about a business or someone that's operating and you don't feel they have a license, and we'll take it. We'll take it from there. 225-7280. Or you can send it to taxinquiries@bahamas.gov.bs. Let us know. We'll be honest with you, we don't have the sufficient numbers to police everyone. Mm-hmm. So the citizens and the taxpayers have to help us with the compliance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that happens.
I mean, I'm sure it's a big concern. A lot of people who are probably undocumented are here working with and are the ones flying under the radar.
Yeah, they are. And I want to say also, too, that there's a large number of, because we like to talk about the foreign person. A lot of the foreign persons who have these storefronts and business owners are very and fully compliant. So
people don't make assumptions.
Right. Do not make assumptions. Right. Mm-hmm. Do not make assumptions. When you go into stores, the licenses should be displayed. If they're charging you VAT, their VAT certificates should be displayed. Mm-hmm. And if you don't see that, then you can inquire about it, and you don't have to pay the VAT for it. Mm-hmm. All right. So you have to know your powers. And again, if you have any concerns, on our website, inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs, you can look under the business license tab. You can see the TIN registration list, and you can see the VAT registration list, and that is updated monthly.
Wow!
So anytime you're not sure if you should be paying someone's VAT, you can check that list right in the palm of your hand in your phone and search their business name, and if it's not there, then you can go from there.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how they respond when you tell them you're not paying the VAT, but that's a different story. Yeah. But okay, all right. And Blair Evans, you have the final words here. Again, remind folks about the Empower Project Initiative and other things that fall under you as the innovation manager.
Yes. So as I would have said, registration has been extended until this Sunday at 11:59 p.m. You can find that link on our WhatsApp channel, sbdcbahamas.com. or any of our social media pages also at SBDC Bahamas. So we really encourage you to get registered because that is the way that we're going to be able to communicate with you throughout this program. So we need to get that initial information, your email, phone number, so that you can continue to receive updates about the program. You get reminders, you get links, deadlines, and other support. So definitely register. We also have the training sessions coming up. I didn't mention the training sessions are mandatory. So you have to attend at least one of those sessions to be able to be eligible for the grant. All right. So,
and again, this is a free initiative, right?
Yes, everything
you
is
do
free.
is free.
Yes, everything is free.
So no excuses.
No excuses. And we think that this is beneficial information for you as an entrepreneur. So you're going to benefit from it, even if you aren't awarded the grant. The training, the business license drive, all this is beneficial for you as a business owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And if you, only cook on special holidays? But you should do this.
It doesn't matter what service or product you provide. If it's only on Sundays, if it's from your car, if it's from your aunt's house, if it's online, if you're just delivery on a scooter, if it's counseling, if it's whatever it is, accounting work, paperwork, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Any service or any product that you're providing within the Bahamas or from the Bahamas, you need to be compliant. You need a business license. Yeah. And it's free. The only thing you will pay for is the $25 for your trade name that will remain yours and nobody can take it.
Yeah.
I also want to remind persons about our financial symposium that is next week, Wednesday and Thursday at the baseball stadium. Come on out, sort out your renewals, apply for the first time, talk to the other agencies. If you need financial assistance, persons like the SBDC will be there to talk to you about their grants and offerings. Banks will be there as well. And then following that, there'll be the SBDC function that we will be at as well. So we just want to provide every opportunity for persons to get assistance.
Great stuff. Keep up the great work that you all are doing. Blair Evans with SBDC and John Williams with DIR.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to take a break and be back with our final few minutes of Morning Blend Business on this Thursday morning. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
The following is a paid political message.
Kalani. Whoa. Hey. Kalani. Oh, the future is brighter. Oh, vote for my diver. Hey, 'cause she is a fighter. Kalani. Hey. The future is brighter. Oh, if you need improvement, oh, come join the movement. Come join the movement. Hey, you're looking for change, find it here. You're looking for justice, find it here. You're looking for truth, find it here. Vote for MacGyver. She's here for you. See everybody in Kalani. Change is here. Hey, hands in the air. See everybody in Kalani. Vote for MacGyver. She is a fighter.
That was a paid political message. Track and field fans, it's that time. Time for the B3A Carifta Trials, March 20th through 22nd at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Come see the country's finest young athletes in blazing battles on the track and fierce field competition as they look to book their tickets to the 53rd Carifta Games in St. George's, Grenada on the Easter holiday weekend. Who will make the team to represent the Bahamas? Be there for the B3A Carifta Trials, March 20th through 22nd at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Competition starts at 10 on Friday, March 20th, and 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, March 21st and 22nd. General admission, $12. Children under 12, $8. $20 VIP. 3-day passes are $34 general admission, $20 children under 12, and $58 for a 3-day VIP pass. The B3A Carifta Trials, March 20th through 22nd. Don't you miss it.
In today's market, merchants shouldn't have to choose between the high fees of cards or the security risk of physical cash. SandDollar provides the ultimate hybrid solution. The instant settlement of a cash transaction paired with the seamless digital convenience of a card. By integrating SandDollar into your checkout, you're choosing a local high-efficiency system that eliminates the friction of exact change and the uncertainty of bank delays. It's the sophisticated choice for a modern Bahamian entrepreneur looking to optimize their daily operations. Join the future of local commerce today. SandDollar.
Hey folks, thanks for your patience. We'll be taking off very shortly. You should be wheels up in about 40 minutes. And due to a bumpy ride, snacks and beverage service has been suspended. AC has given us some trouble, sorry folks. And Wi-Fi is out. And so is the entertainment. Yeah, I'm sorry about the smell, folks. We are aware.
I know.
Just one more quick note. We are going to have to deplane.
Come on! We're like the plane ride that isn't a nightmare. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Prime Minister Philip Davis saying that the government will keep the financial services industry forward-looking with new innovation and innovative legislation. Davis leading debate on a compendium of bills, including the Automatic Exchange of Financial Account Information Amendment Bill and the Decentralized Autonomous Organizations Bill and the Usufruct Interest Bill. With regard to the Automatic Exchange of Financial Account Information Bill, Davis says that this will strengthen the country's framework for the automatic exchange of financial account information under the Global Common Reporting Standard, or CRS. More on this in today's Guardian Business section. A prominent water sports operator agrees with U.S. Ambassador Herschel Walker that the delay on jet ski regulations needs to come to an end. Director of Business Development for My Own Water Sports Limited, Astrid Charlton, telling Guardian Business that a recent report that an American tourist was allegedly sexually assaulted by a jet ski operator was deeply distressing, saying that they agree with the U.S. ambassador and fully understand the sense of urgency, saying, quote, "This is not a new issue. For years, there have been discussions around reforming the jet ski industry, and operators have repeatedly raised concerns and called for stronger action. Despite this, we continue to find ourselves in a cycle of dialogue without consistent, visible implementation." Overseas, stock markets fell sharply worldwide today after another leap for oil prices hiked the pressure even higher on the global economy. Brent crude, the international standard, briefly rose above $119 per barrel this morning before pulling back to $110, which is still 3.2% up from the prior day. The S&P 500 fell 0.9% to deepen its drop for the week so far, which is on track to be its fourth straight losing week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 415 points, and the Nasdaq Composite fell 1.2%. European markets fell even more, and Asian markets closed lower. Meanwhile, countries in Asia are scrambling to conserve energy and protect consumers as the war in Iraq and attacks on gas fields and oil refineries disrupt critical supplies, rattling markets and driving up prices. The crisis is hitting Asia hardest because of its heavy reliance on imported energy, much of which is shipped through the Strait of Hormuz, a key choke point now under strain. Only about 90 vessels, mostly Indian, Pakistani, and Chinese flagged, have made it through the strait since the beginning of the Israel-U.S. attacks on Iran. And Iran's strikes against Israel and Gulf Arab neighbors since that began in late February. Asia is preparing for cascading impacts into all economic activities, according to analysts. Japan is among the countries most to disruptions in the strait, relying on the route for about 93% of its oil imports. Fuel prices already climbing. A liter of regular gasoline was selling for about 175 yen, or about $1.09 on Thursday, but that's up from about 91 cents a month ago. To cushion the impact, Japan released 15 days of private sector oil stockpiles, followed by months' worth of supplies from the national reserves. Japanese ministry said the country had roughly 250 days of reserves as of the end of this year. Meanwhile, South Korea said it imports about 70% of its oil and 20% of its LNG from the Middle East. Rising oil prices have created queues at cheaper gas stations, while delivery workers, truckers, and greenhouse farmers grapple with expenses. And despite China's heavy reliance on shipments through the strait, the largest by volume globally, China is relatively well insulated. Ample strategic reserves of oil and gas, along with a growing share of renewables, now account for about 30% of its power mix. That's helped China cushion the immediate impact. In your Market Watch recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday, your market movers. Bahamas Waste moving 450 shares, closing at $11.10, unchanged. Commonwealth Bank moving 125,000, down 41 cents to 441. Kalina Holdings moving 1,208, up 75 cents to 16.25. Doctors Hospital moving 5,600, unchanged at $5. FamGuard moving 2,000, up 10 cents, close at 7.25. And Consolidated Water down 6 cents, closing at 6.26. Emira Incorporated down 6 cents, closing at $13.02. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 3,175.58, up 0.32. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And our final 3 minutes of morning event business this morning. So we've been following this very closely. We've had both sides on over the past few months. I mean, as recently as last week, when it comes to NHI, the providers, physician providers last week, talking about their concerns about delayed payments and partial payments and other issues they have as they seek to unionize. And we read for you the statement from NHIA about how that's not going to be possible based on their agreements and addressing some of their other concerns about payments. And now Dr. Michael Darville's been asked about it and what exactly is happening with the payments. This is what he told reporters yesterday. Take a listen.
NHI and those impacted as a result of NHI payments. I must say that some payments were made, but in the whole business of insurance, I've been a practicing physician for many years, and I have worked along with insurance companies, and there is sometimes delay. So the delay in NHI is not only NHI, it's also reflective in the private sector. But we are working diligently to resolve this issue, and we're working closely with the Ministry of Finance to ensure that the tranches that are necessary for NHI is received in a timely fashion so that we can pay our bills on a timely fashion.
Okay, well, there's an article in today's NASA Guardian from our LaTanya Roberts about this. As you heard last week, the doctors, the physicians, providers are trying to form an association or become a union, and the association raised concerns, delayed payments, and other concerns regarding NHI. However, the association said that it was advised that it would have to join or form a union to publicly voice concerns as a group, even though NHIA said that they would be able to because of the arrangement that they're not full-time. They don't work for NHI. They work for themselves, so that would be a challenge as well. Although Darville did not respond to the advisory, he said yesterday that some outstanding payments were being made, as you heard in that report there. In that clip that we just played, the payments are 2 months behind for the physician providers and 3 months behind for the lab workers. Health professionals under NHI have experienced late payments before, which prompted the formation of the National Health Insurance Providers Association to create dialogue with the NHI officials and address concerns of other policy modifications. Previously, the association president, Dr. Notra Archer Cartwright, and other officials noted that the delayed payments affect the delivery of health care services. And the association sent a statement yesterday noting, and after hearing what Dr. Darville had to say, with him saying that he met with the association, but the minister has not reached out or met with the association that represents the largest grouping of the providers at this time. Once again, they met with the Medical Association of the Bahamas, the MAB, that they have appointed to their own board. It's like they met with themselves to get their own perspective. All right, so this is not a simple situation here, but many people saying different things. And we are hoping they get this sorted out and that health care can be delivered in a timely manner and that everyone can benefit from this. But wow, it's always something. This texter says here, can you imagine a nation collecting tax and based on what, this is about what, we talking about DIR here? Depending on what DIR said, they are depending on the public to police it. We are a failed nation. I don't know how you got to that point. No wonder any foreigner can come in here and get away with anything. That's not the way to look at it, texter. If you know of somebody who is operating outside the law or you have questions, that's what they're saying. They need to know. You need to inform them. You need to inform them. Let them know. How else would they know? If everybody's quiet, then we'll have a whole bunch of people operating outside the law. So that's not. It's not the same thing that you're saying. Not at all. That's a sign of a healthy nation, that people are seeing things and reporting it. Now, whether you can trust the people you report the things to, that's a different story, but that has a lot to do with the people in the nation as well. Right? If everybody does make noise about, well, I reported this and nothing happened, and then call those people out, those folks will see that there's no tolerance for that type of behavior in the country. But right now, everybody's just trying to shield or protect or hide or I don't know what. But we've created a lot of the challenges we are seeing. So we have to change. We do. That is it for us today. We're out of time. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
Try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361. The following is a paid political message brought to you by the Free National Movement.
Bahamas, get ready! The momentum is building and the movement is rising. The Free National Movement, fan launch. Join the excitement. Saturday, March 21st at 7:30 p.m. at Bahama. Watch the event live on Facebook and YouTube at our FNM 242.